truthful account of what happened, the things about I couldn't talk about 30 years ago.
What really happened in West Memphis that night in 1993?
He's written a new book there. For the first time, he's sharing things never shared before.
Kim Clark went to Paragould, Arkansas for the exclusive.
3 young boys brutally murdered, 3 teenagers arrested.
About the trial. Why now?
Was justice truly served? Or was it a terrible mistake fueled by fear and suspicion? The West Memphis Three case shook a small town and sparked a nationwide debate about wrongful convictions, hidden truths, shaky evidence, and a courtroom drama that still haunts many. This story will keep you on the edge of your seat. Stay with us as we uncover the shocking twists behind one of America's most controversial trials. Don't miss a single detail. Your understanding of justice might never be the same. Crime. In 1993, a shocking crime shook the small town of West Memphis, Arkansas. 3 young boys, Steve Branch, Christopher Byers, and Michael Moore, were found dead in a river. Their bodies showed signs of severe violence, and the community was in shock. The boys had gone missing earlier, and their deaths raised many questions. People wanted answers fast because the town was scared and confused. The crime scene was disturbing, with evidence suggesting the boys were victims of a ritualistic killing. This caused fear and suspicion in the town. Many residents believed dark forces or unusual reasons were behind this tragedy. The local police started their investigation quickly, but the pressure to find the criminals was very high. Because the crime seemed so strange, some people looked for easy answers. The community wanted justice for the boys, but the real story was complicated. The police focused on 3 teenagers, Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley, who were different from most in the town. This difference made them easy targets. The crime and its mysterious nature changed the town forever. It started a chain of events that would question the fairness of justice in West Memphis. This crime was not just about what happened to the boys, but about how the town reacted to fear and suspicion. Arrest. Soon after the crime, the police arrested 3 local teenagers, Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley. They became known as the West Memphis Three. The arrests shocked many people, but the police believed these 3 were responsible for the murders. The main reason for their arrest was suspicion based on their personalities and interests. Damien Echols, for example, was interested in dark and unusual things, which made some people in the town suspicious. Jessie Misskelley, who had a low IQ, gave a confusing confession after long questioning by the police. The arrests caused a lot of debate. Many thought the police rushed to blame these teenagers because they didn't fit in with the rest of the town. The evidence against them was weak, and some witnesses changed their stories. But still, Damien, Jason, and Jessie were held in jail, waiting for their trial. The community was divided. Some believed the West Memphis Three were guilty, while others started to question the police's methods. The arrests marked the beginning of a long fight for justice that would last for years. Trial. The trial of the West Memphis Three began in 1994 and quickly gained national attention. Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley faced serious charges, the murder of the 3 boys. The courtroom was filled with tension, as many people were eager to see justice served. The prosecution focused heavily on the idea that the murders were part of a satanic ritual. They used Damien's interest in occult and dark subjects to paint the 3 teenagers as dangerous and guilty. Jessie Misskelley's confession was a key part of their case, even though it was inconsistent and unclear. The defense argued that there was no real evidence linking the 3 to the crime. They pointed out that the confession was forced and that there was no physical proof. However, the jury was influenced by the fear and panic in the community, which made it hard for the accused to get a fair trial. In the end, Damien Echols was sentenced to death, while Jason Baldwin and Jessie Misskelley received life sentences. Many people were shocked by the verdict, and questions about the fairness of the trial began to spread. The trial showed how fear and prejudice could affect justice. Evidence. The evidence used against the West Memphis Three was weak and often questioned. There was no direct physical proof that Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, or Jessie Misskelley committed the crime. The main evidence came from Jessie's confession. but it was full of mistakes and contradictions. The police also pointed to strange items found in Damien's home, like books about the occult, to suggest they were involved in a ritual killing. However, having unusual interests is not a crime, and this evidence was mostly based on fear and misunderstanding. No murder weapon was ever found, and forensic tests did not clearly link the three teenagers to the crime scene. Some experts later argued that the evidence was mishandled or ignored by the police. Over time, many people began to believe that the case against the West Memphis Three was built on weak and unreliable evidence. This raised serious doubts about their guilt and whether justice was truly served. As time passed, many doubts grew around the guilt of the West Memphis Three. People started to question whether Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley were really the killers. New evidence and expert opinions showed that the original case had many problems. Supporters pointed out mistakes in the police work and trial. Jessie's confession was seen as forced and unreliable because of his low intelligence and long police questioning. Also, no clear physical evidence linked the three to the crime. Over the years, groups and famous people began to speak out for the West Memphis Three, saying they might be innocent. Documentaries and books helped bring attention to the doubts and possible errors in the case. These doubts created a big movement demanding justice and fairness. It showed how important it is to question the truth, especially when lives are at stake. The doubt around the case made many people rethink what really happened in West Memphis. Release. After years of legal battles and public support, the West Memphis Three were finally released in 2011. Their release came through a special legal agreement called an Alford plea. This meant they did not admit guilt, but accepted the punishment to gain freedom. The release was a huge moment for Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley. They had spent nearly 2 decades in prison for a crime many believed they did not commit. The decision brought relief to their families and supporters, but it also left questions about the true killer unanswered. While free, the three men continued to fight for full justice and to clear their names completely. Their release showed the power of persistence and public pressure in the legal system, but it also reminded everyone how serious mistakes can happen in criminal cases. The story of their release inspired many to look deeper at wrongful convictions and the need for fairness in justice. It was a turning point in the long, difficult journey of the West Memphis Three. Impact. The case of the West Memphis Three had a lasting impact on the community and the justice system. It showed how fear and prejudice can lead to wrongful convictions and unfair trials. Many people learned that sometimes the legal system makes serious mistakes. The story inspired changes in how police and courts handle evidence and confessions, especially with vulnerable suspects. It also raised awareness about the dangers of judging people based on their appearance or interests. For the families of the victims and the accused, the case brought pain and struggle that lasted for years. But it also united supporters who fought for truth and justice. The West Memphis Three case remains a powerful example of why fairness and careful investigation are essential in every criminal case. It reminds us to always question and seek the real truth. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the West Memphis Three case. What do you think? Were Damien, Jason, and Jessie truly guilty or victims of a justice system that failed them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our stories of mystery, betrayal, and truth. Stay tuned for our next video, the disappearance of Brandon Swanson, vanished without a trace, coming soon. You won't want to miss this chilling real-life mystery.
See you next time!